What's up, guys and girls? Today I'm going to be talking about how much your personality can vary and how much that can influence how a girl or guy likes you or reacts to you and so forth. Your personality conveys a lot of stuff. What certain people call game to how you carry yourself, your self-esteem, how you walk about, your body language, how you talk, how you enunciate, the tone of your voice, everything. And it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Your self-esteem in itself covers so many categories. I'll give you an example. If an Asian male like me or another Asian male were to approach a female and she would immediately respond with something like, I don't date Asian guys. A lot of them, most of them would just be completely shocked and their self-esteem would shatter. Those who are very strong and confident would react completely differently. They'd be unfazed, and some of them might crack a joke because they have come to terms with themselves and they are just so secure in themselves that it doesn't really affect them. They love who they are. If this girl doesn't like you, it doesn't matter. They're not even sad about it. They're not serious about it. It doesn't affect them at all. And you can see this with complete different ethnicities and different people of all sorts. I know some short people who are the same way. They're just they've so internalized who they are that they make jokes about how short they are, and they're bald and they approach tall women anyways. And once the female sees how secure they are, it's not an issue anymore. But obviously, you got the other side of the spectrum where I've seen people of all ethnicities, white, black, Asians. Obviously, there's certain ethnicities who are just naturally born with better game, you could say. Cough, cough, black people. But generally, every ethnicity, even African Americans, I've seen people who have really bad social skills and really bad cues and self-esteem and not personality per se, but a lot of these things, and this conveys through like immediately, almost before they speak. It's almost ruined completely when they're talking to an opposite gender, when they're trying to approach them in a more than friendly way. And it's one of those things where it's like, this is something that's universal in certain senses. Obviously, cultural things and ethnical backgrounds may give you an advantage or disadvantage in certain situations, but there are some universal things like body language, personality that can vary dramatically. And if you're one of those people who think, oh, personality doesn't matter that much, there's such a wide range of personality that one person can inhabit or be. Like, just think of actors. The best actors, they have just dramatically different personalities, and a lot of them are very vibrant and extreme in different ways, and those are things that can impact how people think or interact with you, or be influenced by you. And personality does matter. Those are people. There are people who blanket statement that looks are everything, personality is nothing, which is retarded. And I can give you many reasons, but I'll just give you one that just clears the whole thing up. At least in terms of marrying someone, if you think looks are the only thing that's important, that's a very superficial and ignorant statement, because once you get old, you and your partner will just be completely ugly. Like, their breasts will sag, you have wrinkled faces, white hair, disgusting. A lot of old people become obese, and then you're just gonna have your personalities to get along with that person. Like, you may be living for this person for the next 70 or 50 years of your life. You're gonna get ugly one day, as is that person. And so to say that looks are the only issue is just a stupid, ignorant statement, and you're not really thinking about your future, and one could argue that you're not really thinking successfully. Um, and you're probably not going to pick out a girl who's successful either. Those people who say looks are the only thing that matter um, are typically guys who only care about looks themselves in a girl, and therefore, they're screwing themselves over in the long run. And obviously, there are exceptions where some people only care about looks in the short run for hookups and stuff. But in the long run, they're smart enough to realize, as far as wife material goes, the criteria changes. So that blanket statement is just ridiculous and stupid. Finally, let's get to the whole thing about personality as a whole. I'll give you one final example. Think of any exceptionally vibrant personality that you can think of, whether it's Russell Brand or Jim Carrey. I like to think of, I can think of a few people that most of you guys have never heard of, but they have these vibrant, amazing personalities. And I'm going to be honest, all of them are white. They're all Caucasians. And that's just by pure coincidence. One could argue there's not that many ethnicities in terms of role models outside of that I can think of off the top of my head, but it's just coincidence. I could think of a few African American role models too, like Will Smith. Think of any of these and imagine him swapping bodies with me. So my physical form still remains, but boom, you got Will Smith here, where he enunciates his words. He has power in his voice. He speaks a lot louder than me, and he talks really, really loudly, and he's like, yeah, let's get this in. Tremendous energy when he talks, and he's like, yeah, this is how I am. Nothing's gonna stop me. I will outwork you to the bone. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do something just because they can't do it themselves. They're gonna try and tell you you can't do something. You can see, just in picturing and in trying to embody Will Smith, my personality changes just a slight bit. But if he was really here, if he really, swapped bodies with me and his personality was here, you can tell this dramatic change in personality can have a dramatic influence on how you think of me. And you would say this guy is Will Smith. And it's not, even though flesh-like I'm not Will Smith, you can't help it because his personality is just so out there. Same thing with someone like Russell Brand with his English accent. I can try my best to do a British accent. It's gonna suck, but you get the idea, I'd be just, eating crumpets and stuff and drinking tea and chatting with my dear husband and watching Doctor Who with my family. I can't do a British accent, but you get the point. Russell Brand's personality is quite unique and vibrant. And if he were to swap bodies with me and take my form, you would have a completely different interaction. He'd just be like, oh my goodness, I'm in this Asian body now. Good Lord, what the hell am I doing here? Oh, this is going to be jolly fun. Jolly fun. And he'd go out there and probably, see if he could still screw girls as an Asian and probably do decently well. So it's crazy how it works. And that's the whole example, personality is tremendous. Now that doesn't mean, if you think you don't want to be a certain person because of moralistic reasons, then don't do it. But oftentimes it's simply because it's down to discomfort. You're uncomfortable being this person because it's not you. Well, you is something that's defined by how others perceive you at times, and also how the history of how you've behaved, and that's what superficially it is, but at the end of the day, you can choose to be whoever the heck you want. Um, if you free yourself from these social constraints, um, I, for instance, could just completely change my personality the next day. My personality is somewhat generic in a sense, but I could wake up the next day and decide, you know what, I'm gonna become this strange bloke who only speaks in an English accent, acts like Russell Brand, and is exceptionally dirty in his language, just constant sexual innuendos. I could choose to do that consistently, forever. And if anyone said you're being fake, that's not how you've been, the history of how you've been, that's not you, I could deny them and say, nope, this is me now. And in time, all of them would have to accept it. So as you can see, identity is very fluid and truly down to you. And obviously, it's hard to break, and sometimes it's hard to reason out why you would want to change. But change is there for the taking if you truly want it, and sometimes it can help. That's all I really want to say. And as always, I hope this video made you think. If it did, share with someone you think would be influenced by it. And as always, like, favorite, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video.